this video I'm going to show you how the Kuwaiba OpenStreetMap tool is used. We can see here the front page of the tool, and we can see that there are two sub-pages, one for importing from a map and the other is a Swagger page that allows us to control various aspects of the demonstration. If I go first of all to the importer page, I can select an area. Now we can see that this map is just taken from OpenStreetMap. I'm going to select an area to import around Bittern Park, and I'm going to import the area. Now once the area is imported, I'm now in a position to start predicting the placing of poles, cabinets and circuits in this particular network. And to do that, I will go to the Swagger UI and I will go to this prediction controller panel, and I'm going to predict all of the areas within that particular map. So here we can see QGIS, which is a way of displaying the data in our Postgres database. And I can see on this, these are the noted streets that we've exported. And I can look at the buildings that I have exported as well from my area. If I zoom in a little bit, if I now put the building drop points on, we can see these are the points nearest to the road where the building is going to be connected to the fibre. And if I put in the network points, we can now see these are the telephone poles or street cabinets that are along the path that the fibre is taking. And finally, if we put in the network connections and take out the noted streets, we can see that these fibre points have been put in automatically. Now we're going to export this data, having created it. And to do that, we go back to the Swagger UI, and in this case we're going to look at the requisition connections. I'm only going to export 500 of these connections because it will take a long time to import if I do any more than that. And if I execute that query, you can see that I actually have a JSON file which is used to import the templates and the buildings and objects, and also, if we go further down, the actual connections between A and B that are in this network. So that file can then be imported into Kuwaiba, and we do that by simply placing the file in a known location within the container that Kuwaiba is running on. And if we start Kuwaiba, we can actually import the file by using the task manager. And within the task manager, we have a provisioning task, which basically runs a Groovy script that imports that data. And if we run that script, I've already run it, so I won't run it again. We can then see the things that have been imported. So if I go to the root of the model, there is other data in this particular model because it's the standard model that we use to demonstrate Kuwaiba. But on top of that, we have added the United Kingdom, and within our example, we have put in Bittern Park. And if we jump down, we can see within Bittern Park, we now have all of these roads. And if we just pick a road at random, you'll see that there are houses on that road, and each house contains a splice box, which is the point at which the fibre is connected to the house. And then from that, we go to the ONT, which is a Nokia ONT. We can jump down and see the Nokia ONT, which is an optical port and an electrical port on it. I'm going to look at a wire container between 2 points. And if we look at that in more detail, you can see that this wire container, which goes between the exchange and one of the aggregators, has 4 containers, which then contain 12 fibres each. So that's a standard blown fibre unit that can contain these fibres. If I now want to show those fibres connecting from end to end within the network, I can pick my point in the exchange. I'll pick this particular device, and I'm going to pick this particular aggregator, and I'm going to look at the splitter in the aggregator, and I'm going to look at the in port. So I'm going out from the optical port on the OLT through the fiber and in on the first splitter. And if I connect both sides, that's how we connect the network together. So this particular trunk has been generated for us. The aggregator and the exchange have been generated for us using templates, but we haven't got the end-to-end circuits. Those have to be manually added. We could in the future also add those automatically if we wished, but for now we're leaving it as a system that allows you to create those circuits on demand as you do it yourself. Now, if we look at the actual facts again, go back to the fiber exchange here, and again I want to look at this device. So let's look at the fax rack. Now we can see that we can actually view a rack view of that rack, in which case we can see where in the rack those devices are positioned. We can also jump down into a device and see the passive optical portion. We can see this is blue, which means it's connected to something. And what I'm going to do is look at the physical tree view, which is going to show me what this particular port on the OLT is connected to in the network.